Hi, in this video we are going to work on sectors, calculate arc length and the perimeter of sectors. Basically, a sector is a fraction of a circle. So we have the radii drawn through the circle from the center, right? And then the whole figure is called as a sector. So we have this fraction of the circle, so let me put it this way, which we call as an arc, and it has a length, therefore we're talking about arc length, right? And also this is a closed two-dimensional figure, so we can calculate its perimeter. Now let's consider the arc length first. So of course all these angle measures will be in terms of radians, so let's call this as alpha. So let's remember now the circumference of a circle. Now the circumference is 2 times pi times r, right? And to find the arc length we can just compare, so let's write arc length. We can just compare the angle given here as alpha by 2 pi this time because, well, we're using radian measure, right? It's not 360 degrees anymore. It's 2 pi radians multiplied by 2 times pi times r. So what we're going to get is that just because these 2 pi's are crossed out, cancel each other out, we end up with the angle in terms of radians times the radius, right? This is our arc length. Now, the books give this as a formula without explaining how we ended up this formula. Just because I don't like formulas, I always go with what we were doing with the arc length when we were using the degrees, right? It was like alpha over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. So this is not a formula to me because it makes sense, because I'm talking about a fraction of a circle, right? So changing 360 to 2 pi makes it in radian measure, right? So, and that's what happens, the 2 pi's are cancelled out and we end up with the angle measure in radians multiplied by the radius to find the arc length, right? That's what happens. But if you'd like, you can just learn this as a formula and use it. But if you can't remember, it's best to remember the definition, right? The fraction, the comparison of the given angle by 2 pi. Now, let's look at this example. Now we're going to work on the perimeter of this sector, and well, it is very important, by the way, that this is called as the minor sector, right? And this is called as the major sector in case you see these in a question, right? So basically, for the perimeter of this sector, we have to first calculate the arc length, right? So to find the arc length, I'm going to go like 5 pi, right, properly, 5 pi over 12 compared by 2 pi times 2 pi, well, the radius is 7 centimeters, so I write that, right? And that is the arc length. And, of course, to this, I'm going to add the radii, right? This is going to be a closed figure when I add the radii, so it's going to be 2 times 7 again, right? So this is the perimeter of this sector. Now, here I can cancel out 2 pi's, so I have 5 pi over 12 multiplied by 7, and I have 2 times 7 here, so this will be 35 pi over 12 plus 14. Now, when you key this into your calculator, you end up with 23.1, sorry, not 4, 6, 297, and so on. Now, to be able to write this as in 3 significant figures, I'm going to go like 23.2 centimeters, 3 significant figures. So that's what I will be doing. I'm going to calculate the arc length, and I have to add the 2 radius here, so that this is going to be a closed figure, so that I can find the perimeter. Right? This is how I work the perimeter out. Could the angle be asked given the perimeter? Well, yes. Look at this example. It says, find the angle of a sector of a circle with radius being 12 centimeters, given the perimeter of the sector is 42 centimeters. Well, if I assume the angle being theta, right, I multiply theta by the radius, which is 12. This is the arc length, and then I add 2 times the radius to end up with the perimeter, right? That's how I was calculating the perimeter. So the arc length will be 12 theta plus 24, which is 42, right? 12 theta would be 18, and theta would be nothing but 18 divided by 12, which would give you 3 over 2, and of course it's going to be in terms of radian measure, so it's going to be 3 over 2 pi. So that's the angle of the sector. The question is weird and intimidating, but actually you're solving a linear equation, and this is the same when they give the angle but the radius is asked. So there is no big deal. It's going to be a linear equation, so you can find the radius easily. Now is your turn. Please solve these questions on your book and submit your answers online. Thanks for watching.